One MetLife Stadium Drive, one of the two NFL stadiums shared by two teams. But we're not here to talk about that or that team across the hall. Keith Ippolito and John Rad are only here to talk about the true football giants. We talk Giants football and wherever else the conversation may take us. So deal with it. This is the Shared Stadium Podcast.
Is Daniel Jones in mid-season form? Did we get Odell Beckham Jr. 2.0? Do the Knicks have an Olympic gold medalist on their team, future Olympic gold medalist on their team? The Jets are going to jet. And hey, have you heard about this other team in pinstripes? I hear they've done some good things. Welcome into the Shared Stadium Podcast. I'm John Rad, along with my teammate Keith Ippolito. We are going to cover a lot here, but we are always going to, first and foremost, talk about New York Giants football. We share a stadium with that green team. We're going to talk about them a little bit today. But before we get into all of that, let me check out my tag team partner, my teammate, my right guard to me being the right tackle, my shooting guard to me being a point guard, my...
Well, I'm definitely not tall enough to be a center, so can't be that.
What's up, Keith?
I'm good, man. I know we've had a little hiatus, just the summer months between vacations and work stuff or whatever. So it's good to get another episode in the saddle tonight. I'm all good, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I am great. Obviously, like you said, life just lifed, but we are back as football season's starting to ramp up. It's starting to feel great because, when you start seeing preseason football, you kind of give up on the fact that it's no secret we're in Atlanta. We give up on the fact that it's like 144 degrees outside because you start thinking, I'm ready to put on a hoodie. I'm ready to watch some football. I'm ready for like wings,
maybe some jalapeno poppers, fried mozzarella.
I'm ready for all of that. So it's a great time of year because, preseason started. Now, preseason means nothing. I get it. It means nothing. But I'm going to be overly critical. Because Daniel Jones, we haven't seen him in how many weeks? So it's been a while. So considering we haven't seen him in a while, and we've all read that, he's working on the deep ball.
Yeah.
But I've also read he's in mid-season form, and the deep ball that he's throwing is going to the other practice guys on the other team.
Yes, I heard he had a rough day at practice today. But I mean, like I said, it's only preseason and camp or whatever. I mean, I've heard, but I've also heard that he's been, hitting the deep ball, with Hyatt and Neighbors and all that. So I don't know, man. Hey, let's find out, because he's supposed to play. I believe it's Saturday against the Texans. So maybe we'll get a series or whatever and see what he's got.
So let's do this. Let's go ahead and put it out there. You're gambling, man.
I like that. I've been known to partake in a wager.
You degenerate gambler. You were gambling on turtle races. I've known you a while. You were gambling on turtle races. I mean, come on, man. Who gambles on turtle races?
Leonardo, Michelangelo, or Donatello? John, which one?
Whichever one you were gambling on. By what week did we see Drew Lock?
Well, that's a good question. I mean,
I'll be fair. I'll throw it all out there. By what week do we see Drew Lock or Tommy DeVito, but not because of injury?
Well, I don't know. Unless it all goes off the rails, I would say, probably by week 6. I mean, if you're going week 5. All right. I'm just going to say I'll take the over all that. I mean, kind of call me crazy, 'cause, I mean, no shocker there. I think Daniel Jones is going to have an okay year this year, which, like we've talked about on previous podcasts, could put us in a predicament, because we've seen this before when they didn't pick up the fifth-year option that he balled out. So maybe because he's been very frank about it. Like, he knows he's got to have a year. So, history says that he's probably going to have a decent year. That's kind of how I'm feeling.
I hope he does. I don't think he will. And even if he does, I've said it before, I'll go on record in saying it. We're not in a predicament, because you're at this point in time, to me, you're going to need to almost get to the Super Bowl. You don't have to win the Super Bowl. You're almost going to have to carry this team. You're going to have to do what we saw Eli Manning do those years, where he just looked superhuman, and just that blank stare would come into play. And you're going to have to do that, because the inconsistency, I can't have you ball out this year, drop off next year. Now all of these Malik Neighbors and all of these guys are a year older, and they're doing their job, or trying to do their job, and looking around, and it's like, hey, I paid you $40 million. What do I have? I got a bunch of good wide receivers. I got a bunch of good talent that everybody's beating down my door for. I got a defense for you. I got you a coach. What do you need? So,
well, no, yeah. I mean, everything I'm seeing so far, like we've talked about previously, I think, one of the biggest concerns is, obviously we didn't have a star wide receiver. Well, now we do. I think the offensive line was always a concern. I'm starting to see things that I would like to think that we figured that out with. It seems like we have, I will say, I guess we have depth. And, Evan Neal looks like he just came off the PUP list today, I believe. Now, and he's even being very candid and frank, too, knowing that he needs to justify, being a top pick. So if Evan Neal can figure it out, and now we've got Steiny and Runyon, and the O line should be good. So, and if that's all figured out, then Daniel Jones basically has zero excuses, because now he's got a star wide receiver, and I'm not saying Malik Neighbors is Odell Beckham yet, because we haven't really seen him do anything yet, but things are trending in that direction. I know that's very premature of me to say, but I feel like that type of excitement, I haven't seen this type of excitement around a wide receiver in a blue uniform since Odell Beckham.
Yep. No, that is a very fair statement to make. And that's why I say you almost have to win the Super Bowl at this point in time, because now you're looking at the young talent that we have. How do you win a Super Bowl? You're not maxed out on your salary cap. You have young players that you're able to do it with. And then that's why Patrick Mahomes got the contract that he got, because he got to a Super Bowl and won it under that rookie deal. Daniel Jones, you're no longer under the rookie deal, but at this point in time, for what you've given us, sorry. Do you want to talk extension? And I might be a little bit over the top and brash, but you're not talking about, and I know Atlanta fans will hate me, we're not talking about the Atlanta Falcons. You're talking about a storied team in the New York Giants. You're
talking about one of the original franchises of the league. So, yeah.
It'd be different if this isn't Jacksonville. This isn't Carolina. Nope. This isn't Houston, where it's like, hey, we're tryhards. This team has built their legacy here. Now, you were talking about Malik Neighbors. How long does it take for you, if someone DMs you, which, ladies, if you want to slide into Keith's DMs, Keith's with your Instagram.
What's my Instagram? Keith86. Keith86.
If you want to slide in Keith's DMs, how long does it take for you to respond to someone if they shoot your DM?
If they shoot me a DM,
whether you know them or you don't, how long does it take?
If I know them, I'll say fairly quickly. What do we want to put the number at? Like hour and a half, 2 hours? What do we want to put a number?
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. So, like, if me and you are sending, reels like we frequently do, I'll get back to you within an hour, hour and a half, depending on how busy I am or whatever. But yeah, if I don't know you, I mean, honestly, probably 9 out of 10, I'm probably not even going to look at it, or I'll probably delete it.
What about 12 years?
Well, 12 years.
Malik
man,
Neighbors shot a DM on Instagram to Odell Beckham Jr. He said he needed some gloves. His hands were too big for the gloves that they had back in the day. Odell never responded until the night he was drafted and responded to the DM saying, hey, guess you don't need those gloves anymore.
I don't think so.
Years later.
Well, and, I have to imagine. So how far back did Odell have to go back, or did he just have it saved? Because... he's a high-profile figure. He must get DMs on a fairly regular basis. Like, that's not the DM that's on page 1, 2, 3, 4. That DM's probably on, like, page 20.
Yeah. Oh. I think that would go somewhere along the lines that when Neighbors met him at LSU, he probably told him, hey, I want to DM you. Odell went and looked for it. But still, 12 years later.
Yeah, 12 years, man. That's a long time.
Yikes. But hey, he responded. And if it turns out that we have Odell Beckham 2.0, I'm not mad about that. I'm not upset about that in the least bit. Okay, hold on. Before we continue any further, I want to clear up something because we had a message on, I think it was Instagram or wherever you posted the video. People have seen this and I'm looking all over the place. Okay, let me be clear about something. I am a radio guy. I have notes, okay? So I'm not going to look at the camera the whole time because I'm trying to remember topics and things like that. Yeah. So if y'all see me looking over or looking down, I'm looking for my notes.
It's not like we're looking off a teleprompter. This isn't television.
I don't have a producer behind the scenes. Okay, now we're going to talk about this.
You're telling me this isn't, Colin, whatever the hell his name is. I can't remember his last name right now. That we have 8 million producers on our show feeding us information all the time.
No. And we're also not some of those places where the executive producers have quit after every year for the past 3 or 4 years. So we are not one of those places.
We didn't even make it 15 minutes into this thing and fireworks have gone off.
Well, I haven't said anything. All I said was we're not that kind of establishment. That's all I said, man. What?
Hey man, I'm here for the fireworks show, man. Come on. Keep feeding me. Like on Zeke Elliott.
Some places have high turnover. We don't have any turnover. Some places have mass exodus. We have not had any.
Exodus, movement of your people. Sorry, I probably just butchered Bob Marley there.
Ippolito's going for America's Got Talent.
What was that guy's the Wang guy, the Korean guy? Shebang. I can't remember that guy's name. Yeah.
Speaking of talent. That team across the hall, they're just going to do what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. The Jets were informed by Hassan Reddick that his contract needed to be addressed. They told him they would address his contract and then they would trade him. Well, they never addressed his contract and tried to move him. Now he is demanding a trade and holding out from training camp. And to me, I don't even want to use the phrase holding out because holding out means he wants more. He wanted that addressed and wanted to stay, and y'all tried to move him.
Yeah, exactly.
So, how do you mess this up?
I mean, I don't know. Same old Jets. I mean, you got to look at Joe Douglas and be like, dude, why didn't you have this figured out before you traded for the guy? I mean, it even kind of is like, when Joe Douglas is at Philly, look at this, he's a genius or whatever, but it's like, come on, man, like, why are you giving up that much for him? I mean, he's very talented, he's a great player, and he makes that team a much better defense when he's on the team, but why wouldn't you, before you do that, why don't you have that all figured out, ironed out? Because if you didn't, then you're just a moron. Like, what are you thinking?
Well, I think you might have answered my question right there. He's just a moron. Because how do you butcher this in a scenario of defensive players come at a premium? And with Hassan Reddick, that's a premium.
Oh, and God, yeah, man.
To butcher it to this point, sad.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a joke, and I mean, again, it's not our problem, but we can laugh about it because it's not our team. But I mean, the Jets are basically in the position because it seems like he has no intention of playing. Like it seems like he's more than willing to just sit out, take his fine, not collect a paycheck. And so the Jets are going to basically get to a point where I'm sure someone will probably take a stab at him later in the season if there's injuries or whatever. But it's not like they're going to get a haul for him. They're not going to get much for him. So they gave up the haul, but they're getting nothing in return.
And the fact that it's a scenario where the Jets overlooked it. Like, what do you lose? So much that you're going to lose at this point in time. You can't even say it's risk versus reward. There was nothing to risk here. So yeah. I don't understand what the thought process was with the Jets, but I think they might be more concerned about one Mr. Aaron Rodgers. They're excited to see he's back out there dancing.
Yeah, since obviously we haven't done one of these in a while. I mean, he's been in the news for a little while too, man. What's your thoughts on Mr. Rodgers missing basically, pre-OTA is what I believe it was, to go to Egypt and do all that? If he put it this way, if Aaron Rodgers was on the Giants, are you okay with that?
No.
No?
No. I feel like OTAs, mini camps, all of that. Now, that's not to say you need to be there to work out. You don't have to be there to work out for it. But you need to be there to show you're the leader of this team. Tom Brady might not have done anything, but Tom Brady was there. Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, they might not have done anything, but they were there. What is football? Football is a team sport. To be around that camaraderie, to be around that, I think that plays a pivotal role for this team. And I think that's part of it, is that these guys need to be there. And particularly for a guy that there was so much hype around to get there and then only play 37.25 seconds. You kind of need to be there. And I get it. People will say, oh, but he was there in street clothes. He was there. No, it's different when the pads start popping. You want somebody there with you. And I think he needed to be there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do agree with you on that. I mean, obviously the quarterback in football, I mean, that's basically the leader, your captain, whatever the hell you want to call it. And his absence, I mean, I'm not going to knock, because everything I had read about him, I mean, he had been a good leader, prior to that, even when he was injured, he was, there, I guess being a mentor, not a mentor, but supportive of Wilson and, just the team in general, whatever. But yeah, if Rodgers was on the Giants, that probably would not have sat well with me, especially with how he started his career at the Jets. Basically, there was so much hype into it. First game of the season, 30 seconds in, and you're done.
Boom.
And because, I mean, and let's be honest, I mean, I listen to, the fan in New York all the time, and I hear Jets callers and some of the hosts on there. Jets fans have high expectations. Like, I'm not saying it's Super Bowl or bust to them, but I mean, playoffs is a bare minimum. But like some of the Jets fans I hear, it's like division round, and they kind of want to be in like they have very lofty and rightfully so, especially having him there. They don't really have an excuse because they do have a talented roster. I mean, I think they could have the potential to win I'm not predicting they are, but in the right scenario, they could potentially win a Super Bowl. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers is clicking on all shoulders, I mean, I think their defense is good, and that I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I mean, I'm just saying that's how Jets fans feel.
I think you've seen. I'm not saying it. Yes, I am. I think we've seen all we're going to see from Aaron Rodgers. Outside of some sort of miracle, he's been so fragile. And he's such a talented player that to see it kind of stinks because you look at guys like him, Andrew Luck, those quarterbacks that there's so much there in terms of talent. And it's just like,
especially Luck, because he was never able to win one. At least Rodgers has one,
exactly. And so it is one of those things of just like, there's so much talent there, but when you start seeing all of these injuries start mounting up, you got to start looking. And when he's not looking at traditional medicine, and I'm not here to judge whose medicine works, but when you're not doing what your team coaches, and I look at guys like Cam Newton, I don't think he's officially retired from the NFL. I think he hasn't turned in the paperwork yet. He's just not
I don't believe, because it was actually, Matt Ryan actually didn't officially retire until last year, right? Last year,
exactly. So,
even though he hadn't been on a,
So he hadn't officially turned it in. So when the injuries start piling up, but I look at Cam Newton, who changed his diet, he changed his exercise, he looks like a better athlete. And then I look at Aaron Rodgers and I'm like, you don't look like, the chisel. Even Tom Brady. Tom Brady did TB12, and it's like, okay, I see. A little more.
Yeah. He had, the trainer, and he is a fanatic about his diet, and eating avocado ice cream and all that stuff. I mean, he's a maniac.
It's a latte.
That's obviously why he won 7 Super Bowls. He obviously is dedicated to his craft.
Hey, but you know what we've been dedicated to? Taking those 2 from you, Tom. Hi, buddy. Sorry, Tom.
Hey, absolutely, man.
So as, we get ready to turn the calendar to start the NFL season, it's also time to turn the calendar because now, as we go into once the start of the 2025 season kicks in, Marshawn Lynch, through Keakley, Adam Vinatieri, Terrell Suggs,
some good names on this list, man,
and Eli Manning all become eligible for the 2025 class of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. To me personally, every single one of us should make it.
Oh yeah, no, every single one of them should make it. Yes, first and. Oh, yeah, the only one, not that I'm not saying that that he shouldn't be, the only one who I think, man, it's because it's so hard, because you think of those Super Bowl plays, like, they on it, like, not even being biased, like, that one throw to Manningham, that might be one of the best throws in Super Bowl history. And all, like, man, you make the case. I mean, how many Hall of Famers or players who have 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs that aren't in the Hall of Fame? So it's hard to make the case to not put them in there. I mean, I could also, being realistic here, numbers wise, is Phillip Rivers and some of the other players that were in that draft, players probably better players stat-wise for sure. But I mean, yeah, man, those 2 rings and the Tyree catch is great, but that I think a lot of people not forget, but maybe forget. I don't know, but that throw to Manningham is just. I mean, that might be one of the best plays in Super Bowl history, man.
I'm not just talking about Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Famer. You can argue whatever you want.
Yeah,
I'm arguing first ballot because here's what I'm saying, and I'm looking at here
I think the other players deserve to be in over him first. If no, you don't think so?
And here's why I'll say that. I'm not taking anything away from Luke Keakley. Outstanding linebacker when he played. No Super Bowl championship. Sorry. If you're putting Luke Kuechly in, then
yeah.
Then
all right, so yeah, Luke. So all right, so yeah, Luke Kuechly. Not that he shouldn't be a Hall of Famer. Yes, I do agree with you on that. Eli should be in before him. But yeah, I mean like Suggs and Marshawn Lynch and stuff. I mean,
Terrell Suggs, Super Bowl championship.
Yeah.
He's going in first ballot. Marshawn Lynch. Okay, you can make the argument.
He should have two.
And you can make that. Adam Vinatieri, he won't go in first ballot because he's a kicker.
I don't.
That's
never keep him out. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of the, probably one of the all-time clutch kickers in the history of the game. But I mean, it's hard for me to justify putting a kicker first ballot. I mean, maybe you make the exception just because of, what he did throughout his career and all the clutch kicks he has, but it's hard for me to make that justification for a kicker.
Yeah, no, I'm putting in if you're putting in the kicker, then you're putting in Eli Manning, first ballot Hall of Fame, and I think he deserves to be there. I don't think you make him wait. You put him in first ballot Hall of Fame. I understand that there's the history ones. There's some players that have been left out, but what he's done, his resume speaks for itself in terms of, number one, the Iron Man player that he was. You got to remember, how many games did he start before Ben McAdoo screwed it all up?
Yeah. I mean, he was, Mr. Reliable, Mr. Dependable. Always could count on him to be on there on Sunday. And God, man, and even, we've Giants fans talk about this all the time, but Jesus, man, just the way he played in the games going up to those Super Bowls in Green Bay and San Francisco, God almighty, man, the beating he took and just played through his mind. It's just insane, man. Is he the most talented player? He's definitely not as talented as his brother. I don't think he's as talented as Brady or Andrew Luck or maybe even a Matt Ryan or whatever. But I mean, he has the 2 rings and the 2 MVPs, and he did it against Tom Brady and one of the greatest throws in the history of the game. An even crazier throw to Tyree. He has probably two of the most iconic plays in the history of the Super Bowl.
Hear me out on this. Go to the NBA, and they always talk about GOAT talk. You talk about Michael Jordan. You talk about LeBron James. Michael Jordan has an era of Hall of Famers that didn't get championships because of him. Now, I'm going to flip that analogy.
Pat Ewing.
Hold on. Go with me on this one. Go with me. Bear with me.
Yep.
I'm going to flip that analogy on its head. Tom Brady is the reason that there are groups of Hall of Famers that don't have championships, because to Michael Jordan, we have Tom Brady. Eli Manning stopped my NFL Michael Jordan. And I know it's quarterback to quarterback, but he stopped NFL Michael Jordan and got 2 rings out of it. So it's one of those things that when you say Tom Brady, you have to say Eli Manning. You have to say those Giants teams. And when you look at that team where you've put in Michael Strahan, where Tiki Barber, when the names that you're putting in there, you gotta put them in there.
Oh, I agree, man. I agree. I mean, you have to put them in, and I would be surprised if they didn't give him the nod. I think they would. Not only the stuff that we just talked about. Probably also helps that he's a Manning too. He's got that last name that certainly helps. But regardless, I don't think that really matters at all. But the resume does speak for itself. I think he should be a first ballot Hall of Fame. I could see the argument why he wouldn't, but I still think you put him in. I mean, he's got the resume, man. It's hard not to do it.
If you're putting him in second ballot, second year, you're doing it out of sheer spite.
Yeah.
So, are you proud to be? Are you still feeling patriotic? The Olympics have come to an end. They are over.
Oh, and,
basically, the United States is the first country to get over 100 gold medals in an Olympics. B, to top the medal count, and C, make history in men's and women's basketball, where this is the first time that you had the men and women play the host nation in the gold medal games. You had USA men and women's basketball take on France. Two of the best basketball games I've probably ever seen in my life. Yeah,
and both were incredibly entertaining. The women's came down to the last, seconds, won by a point. Steph Curry had that 3-point shot. Jesus, I thought I was going to hit the roof. My God, man.
When Steph Curry decides to just turn it on, it's disturbing of the fact that this man can just turn it on whenever he wants to.
Yeah, it's like he just has a flip or whatever. I wanted to bring this up to you now that we're on this or whatever. I mean, he's the best 3-point shooter of all time, right? I mean,
hands down.
Until him, when I thought of 3-point shooters, number one that always came to my mind was Reggie Miller. I mean, obvious reasons. Nick Killer, even Ray Allen. Trying to think of some other. I mean, those are the two that immediately came to my head. But I mean, Steph is definitely. As much, especially, not that I did not like Reggie Miller, but I did like Ray Allen because he went to UConn. I like UConn basketball. He's definitely surpassed them. I mean, it's incredible. Some of the shots this guy makes, man. It's like it defies logic.
Prior to Steph Curry, it would have been, for me, Larry Bird.
Oh yeah.
Chris Mullin.
Oh yeah.
And people are gonna think I'm crazy for saying this one, and I don't think he won a 3-point championship, and he didn't shoot a lot of them. I gotta go Robert Horry, Big Shot Bob.
Oh yeah. Honestly, man. I mean, Bob. What is it? He's got seven titles, 7 right?
Rings. Yep.
Yeah, 7 rings, 3 and 4. Rockets, Lakers, and
Rockets,
and
San Antonio.
No, that's actually a good pool. I mean, I would definitely put him in that category. That's a good pool, man. Yeah, because he was a hell of a player, man.
Steph Curry just showed that he's one of the best. Now, I say this as I watched it, I'm intrigued on what the NBA season will look like because they did not play guard for the Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum.
Yeah, man. Dude, how crazy is that? Just how stacked, the U.S. team is, where you basically have, Jason Tatum, at times, Durant's coming off the bench, and he's just what is going on here? Is you can't start some of these players. I think Kerr said because of certain matchups or whatever, but it's just it's insane. Now I don't know about you. For me, they're still not better than the Dream Team. The Dream Team is
will always be the best.
Yeah, the Dream Team's the pinnacle for it. There won't be. Yeah. All right. So I'm glad we're on the same page there.
Yeah. No. I mean, I know everybody will say they love the 96 team. The 96 team. Some people say the 2012 team, where you're talking LeBron, Kobe, D Wade. When you talk about the Dream Team, the way that they smack teams in the mouth, like there was no keeping up with this group. They were playing to beat each other. They weren't playing to beat the other country. They were playing to outdo themselves.
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, that Dream Team is just they're always going to be the pinnacle, man. 100%.
As you know, obviously it'll be another 4 years before the Olympics come back around, and they'll be in Los Angeles. Obviously, it looks like Steph Curry could possibly be retired. LeBron James could possibly be retired. Kevin Durant could possibly be retired.
I mean, LeBron. I mean, really, 4 years? You think he's got 4? I don't think he had. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he plays this season with his son and he calls it. You don't think so?
I think so, but let's face facts. The man's one of the greatest basketball players in history, but also at the same time, he's discovered the fountain of youth. He played out there like he was. The man will be 40 years old the end of this year.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, MJ. What? How old was MJ? Was in his 40s.
Not playing in the Olympics. He was in his 40s playing for the Washington Wizards.
No, I know that, but I mean, he was like mid 40s when he retired, right?
Yeah. No, he was not. No.
No? I thought he was definitely in his 40s. I could have swore he was in his 40s and at the very tail end of his career.
He had just hit 40.
Okay, so all right, so just on 40.
He had just hit 40. LeBron will be 40, I think, in December of this year.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I feel like don't you feel like the competition level? I mean, all right, so there's a lot of NBA players on. I mean, France has a lot of different NBA players. So does Serbia or whatever. But don't you feel like, I guess, the competition is a little bit different playing at 40 years old in the Olympics versus the NBA? Because the NBA is like the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? No?
I see what you're saying, but I also say you're getting. They only had 3 or 4 weeks to get together and play. In the NBA, you have months and years to get together to play. You look at because France had the most NBA players of any other country. Not France. Canada. Canada had the most NBA players out of any other country. Some of those countries have years to play together. They have those national teams play together for years and they know each other. They only had a few weeks to get together, play, make it work. So I think it's a little more challenging to play in the Olympics, because the other part of that, if you watched it, LeBron James had the gray showing through. So that means he couldn't get the barber to come out to him. So and you laugh, but I also laugh at it to say, if he couldn't get his barber, that means he probably couldn't get the treatment that he would normally get back in Los Angeles, which is a big part. Because even if you remember when COVID hit in the bubble, those guys had to have a lot of things that had to be put into the bubble so they could still play at that level.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. I mean,
only thing they didn't have was lemon pepper hot wings for Lou Williams, and that was I digress. But anyway. So I say all of that to say LeBron's gone, Steph Curry's gone, Kevin Durant's gone. Could the New York Knicks have a player on there? It's projected. This is the team that could make up for the 2028 Olympics. Tyrese Halliburton, obviously he was a part of this team. Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man, he was a part of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, Bam Adebayo, Tyrese Maxey would be a first. Chet Holmgren, Zion Williamson, if he's still healthy, and Jalen Brunson.
Or he's not eating a cheeseburger.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Jalen Brunson could be the other name that could be on the roster. I think that would be huge for the Knicks if the Knicks have an Olympian that's on the USA Olympic team. That is a huge feather in terms of, you're talking about a team that came from, when was the last time the Knicks had an Olympic player? I don't want to say it was Patrick Ewing, but I think so.
Carmelo.
Carmelo, yes. But was he with the Knicks or was he with?
I thought he was with the Knicks.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
No, well, I thought it. I know Carmelo was on the Olympics, but I'm pretty sure he was still on the team when he was the Knicks. I don't know. This is where we could use a person in our ear to tell us these things, right, John?
Yeah, that would normally be me, but I'm on the other side of the class right now, so I can only do so many things at one time.
Yeah, I know, huh?
Man.
I know. Come on. No,
how many teams? How many jobs do you want me to do?
Come on, man. No, but I mean, I am pretty certain that Carmelo was on the Knicks when he was
the 2012 team. He was with the Knicks, as well as the 2016 team. He was with the Knicks. Okay, man, he's been to 4 Olympics. Wow.
Yeah, because when you ever hear it, because he had never won an NBA championship, he always talked about the two things, winning the gold medals and the natty with Syracuse as being the crown achievements of his career, basically.
He has 3 Olympic gold medals, 1 bronze medal, 1 bronze world championship, and 1 America's championship. Huh. Good for him.
I don't know what America's championship is. Do you?
You're the FIBA.
Oh, FIBA. Oh,
FIBA.
All right. Okay. Gotcha.
You're the champion of America. Keith, come on now, keep up.
Come on. Come on, man. Come on.
But what a feather in, particularly if Jalen Brunson were to make it, what a feather in his hat if he were to be a part of.
No, I agree, man. And who else, better to, basically assume that role. He's the heart and soul of this team, and I think it would be awesome. Not that he needs any help with getting endorsement money, being who he is and doing it on the Knicks, but yeah, you throw him on an Olympic team, he'll be able to make some more money, but and regardless of that, just as a fan or whatever, it be good for his confidence or whatever, and hopefully by then the Knicks have won a championship, and oh, of course. Well, and speaking that, I'm sure you've seen who the Knicks are playing on the first game of the season, right?
No, who are they playing?
Oh, all right. This could make John interesting. They are in Boston on their ring ceremony, so they could put a little monkey wrench in the Celtics.
I will tell you, I knew that, and I don't like it, and I'll tell you exactly why I don't like it.
All right, why don't you like it?
People will call me crazy for what I'm about to say.
All right, come on.
You just told the reigning world champions that 2 of their players, and those 2 players, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, are not top tier players. Jaylen Brown, who didn't make the U.S. Olympic team because they sent Derek White over in replacement of Kawhi Leonard. And as we just talked about earlier, you told Jason Tatum he can't even get on the floor with these guys. Now, mind you, Jason Tatum is the only person on the Team USA roster that is a first team All NBA. Everybody else was all European players.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. That's insane, actually, when you think about it.
I think what we might potentially be getting ready to see is a revenge tour. You're going to see Jaylen Brown come out, and he's going to be shooting from 3/4 of the court, draining buckets to show. I think Jason Tatum is going to play. I could, and I know people will say he doesn't have that dog in him, but when you have a man who's sitting there, who came all the way out to London, who just won a championship, I think somebody's going to get in his ear and say, and Jaylen Brown will be it. Hey, man, you got a gold medal, but you didn't do anything to earn it. Show them that you deserve to be there next 4 years.
As you always say, go show them you got that dog, right?
I think if we see, because one or two things will happen. Either Jason Tatum will do that, and you're going to be like, ooh, Tatum got that dog, and we didn't know about it. Or he won't do anything, and then you're going to have players punking him. We're going to be like, oh, man, who was it? Tyrese Halliburton sent out the tweet.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, so you were part of the project, and you ain't do nothing and still got an A. So I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I would much rather it be somebody else, because Jaylen Brown is going to have a chip on his shoulder. The dude was the finals MVP.
No, hey, man, I mean, honestly, when you lay it out like that, I mean, it is kind of frightening because, like you just said, I mean, if there's, even if they're halfway joking or whatever, or things are said on the internet, these players will hear that. And yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that would, give him a little gasoline on the fire and, stick it to the Knicks. But I mean, I would love nothing more because I'm pretty sure you're the same. There's probably I hate the Celtics more than the Lakers. Yeah, I can't stand this.
And I'll give you one more name if he's still on the roster next year. Because he's going to want to beat the Knicks so bad. Kristaps Porzingis.
Oh yeah, I mean the way how things went down. Yeah, absolutely.
And remember, in the NBA Finals, Porzingis showed up and looked like the Kristaps Porzingis that we had, not the one that was in Dallas, the one that we had. He came out of nowhere with a couple of games that I was like, he put up like 38.
Yeah, it's funny you said that because it's like, you think about his time in Dallas and it was like very forgettable, but yeah, I mean, he was like, that old, like that Porzingis that when he first got drafted. Yeah,
So I think that you put those three that are going to spark a fire underneath them, and then Drew Holiday is just going to do what Drew Holiday does. It's going to be like, oh boy. And now we got to deal with this. I'd much rather deal with it not on a ring night. I'd much rather wait 2-3 weeks and let them get that all out of their system, and then let's go fight them.
All right. Well,
so
I mean, I get. Well, all right. So here, how about I play devil's advocate because like, okay, like baseball or whatever, you get your rings or whatever. I feel like there's always like that lull or whatever. So maybe the Celtics will be on cloud 9 after getting everything and going through all the pomp and circus that they have an off night. I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate, John.
Maybe they'll have an off night if their ring looks like mine. Hey man, I'm
still looking for mine in the Cracker Jack box. So
exactly. Hey, as we're recording this at this point in time, do you realize that the Yankees are in the bottom of the 8th and they're down by 10 to the Chicago White Sox?
I did not, because I haven't had the game on or couldn't see. But wow, that's Jesus, that's.
I just so happened to look up and I have the score up in front of me, and the Yankees are down by 10 to the White Sox in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, I mean that's that's an interesting team. Is like hey, actually now I just pulled it up. It's actually 12-2 now, John.
Well, I said they're down by 10.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, my bad. I'm no Fibonacci.
Math is a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Well, obviously, the pitching got lit up tonight, but yeah. I mean, that you to talk about the White Sox being historically bad. They go on that crazy run of losing games, and then they fire the manager the day after they win the game. I mean, how inept is that freaking organization, man? You look at that, because similar owners or whatever with the Bulls or whatever. It's like the White Sox basically they've had one World Series. Yeah, one World Series when God, how long ago was that? What year? Probably 15 plus years ago. Can't remember the year. Long time ago. But I mean, how inept is just that ownership group? I mean, you take out, Jordan and the Bulls and that whole thing. I mean, what the hell have that group accomplished, man?
Absolutely nothing. And
no.
I'm baffled by this because the White Sox are in dead last of all of Major League Baseball, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, they're terrible. They're horrendous. They, I mean, they were, cause what was it, 23 games in a row they lost?
Yeah,
is that what it was?
23-game losing streak, yeah.
Yeah, 23 games.
And I get it, it's baseball, but that's not what I like to see. That's just me.
No, I'm with you, man. The Yankees, I fully expect them to be in the playoffs. I mean,
better.
They don't have an excuse. I mean, the biggest issue of recently has just been pitching, basically. The bats went on a little bit of a slump, but I mean, Judge is just, this guy is insane. I think he needs one home run, basically, is it today or whatever, that he could be the youngest player, or the quickest player to get to 300 home runs in his career is what I read it was. I'll have to go back and double check it. But, God, this guy is he's a maniac, man. I mean, 3 years in a row, what this guy is doing. And not only is he just hitting home runs, I mean, he's walking, he's got a good eye. I mean, it's crazy, and it's kind of almost reminiscent to Barry Bonds. I mean, because every time he goes up to the freaking plate, he's always getting intentionally walked, man.
Hey, okay, we don't want to be referenced with Barry Bonds, man.
Sorry, my apologies. I am not inferring that Mr. Judge is on the sauce. I was saying he is getting walked all the time, John.
That's why we don't have nice stuff, because y'all go say to whom it may concern, dear Mr. Aaron Judge, we apologize on behalf of the Shared Stadium podcast that Keith Ippolito inferred and sued, or even made to believe that you might be injecting or taking some sort of antibiotic pills to make yourself bigger, stronger, faster. We know this to not be true. Keith simply misspoke. Please forgive us. But if you continue to have an issue, don't sue us. You can simply go and use Keith Ippolito as a baseball bat yourself. Signed, the Shared Stadium Podcast, LLC.
As John knows, I tend to misspeak frequently.
Boy, this is so. Dear sponsors, as we are looking for sponsorship, Keith doesn't have to speak. He can merely stand off to the side. We'll get you whatever you need done.
Hey, I was gonna say, I mean, I can just stay here and look pretty, but I mean, I can't even do that, you know?
So, dear Johnny's Pizza, Dunkin' Donuts, Outback, Longhorn.
Hey, what Louisville Slugger?
That'd be great. I want one of those too. I want a personalized one. You can get a personalized one made.
I did know that, but now that reminds me, you'll probably find this great. You remember Jeff Treadway?
Yes.
Old baseball player on the didn't have a fan. One of my favorite things in my autograph collection is I have a signed baseball bat that Jeff Treadway's, and it's probably worth $5, but to me, it's still the coolest thing ever, man.
So, I think mine is behind me. Here it is.
What you got?
Where's the camera? There it is. I got it right there.
I can't read the signature. Who is it?
It is Marcel Ozuna.
Oh. Hey, where'd you score that?
Marcel Ozuna got in a little bit of trouble in Atlanta.
Oh.
He had allegations of domestic assault.
Ozuna from the Braves.
And driving while under the influence. And so I was told, and it was made to believe, that this bat would be worth nothing. Huh? Mm-hmm. Right there. It was made to believe this bat would be worth nothing. Little did anyone realize that man would come back and be an all-star. And
to quote Dumb and Dumber, totally redeem himself.
Completely. So, I would like to thank my buddy. And I'm not going to say his name on here, but I would like to thank you for hooking me up with that bat when everybody else thought the man's career was over.
All right.
And now he totally redeemed himself. That is a great drop.
If we were on radio right now, that would be on my Vox Pro right now.
If we were on radio right now, we'd have been kicked off radio 3 episodes ago. Let's just face facts.
We would have been kicked off before we even had the episode.
About halfway through the first episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys,
yeah.
So
take your pink slips.
Cut the commercial. It's over.
Yeah.
You guys, bye guys. Good luck. All right. Well, that's all we got for today. Normally we wrap up with some sort of rant. I do have a quick rant though. I do have a very, 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 very quick rant.
All right.
We did not talk during the Olympics. And I hope everyone enjoyed it. And I see the gifs and the memes and the jokes. My patriotism is now gone. I hope that not to be true. I know I'm getting serious right here. This is I feel like I'm on Jerry Springer.
Has that been on? Because I haven't really seen it. Mm-hmm. So I haven't seen. What has it been on Instagram or Twitter or whatever
Everywhere.
or what?
People have made the joke. Their patriotism's now gone because the Olympics are over. And I hope that not to be true. We are a country that right now we need patriotism and unity more than ever before. And I get it. There were some sports that you might not have been interested in, but right now we're at a point where as a country, as a nation, we need to be patriotic together. I know what's going to happen in November. You do whatever you want to do there. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is supporting ourselves as a country so we can become a better country once again. And I'm not stealing a slogan from anyone. So he said, no. What I'm saying is we just need to support not only our athletes, but each other. So support small businesses, support each other.
I agree with you on that. And, briefly, I think more people have things in common than all the, I guess all the different arguments in different things or whatever.
Blue or whatever.
Whatever it is. I think people have more things in common than they probably realize, and I guess I'll just leave it at that.
And I mean, look. If you ever want to
we all go through the same struggles. We're all people, If
you ever want to see people get together, food bring us together.
Yes. As you probably saw on ATL Scoops, a red martini enclosure in Buckhead.
That didn't bring us together, Keith. That did not bring us together. That separated us, divided us, and got police involved. What I'm talking about, see, this is why right here.
This is why I can't do anything.
What I'm talking about is go get some friends right now. Later on, don't go right now. Get you some friends. I don't care if you're vegan or vegetarian or carnivore, gluten-free, lactose intolerant. There is a pizza for everybody. Everybody. You can get a gluten-free pizza.
I honestly don't know anybody who doesn't, my man. I really don't.
Get you some pizza. Chop it up over a little bit of pizza. You ain't got to talk politics. Pizza will unify this country.
Nothing like a Pizza Hut big dinner box, my man. Nothing.
Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. I'm talking real. Now, I'm gonna cast an aspersion here. For those of you who haven't figured it out right by now, I said pizza. The gentleman with the vowel at the end of his name is the one talking about Pizza Hut.
God.
It sounds like the same guy who probably tell me if I want a good chicken parm, go to Olive Garden. No disrespect to Olive Garden. If you'd like to sponsor us, we'd appreciate it.
I hear they got a good salad bar, man. Never been, but I hear.
They have a salad bar there? Where?
I don't know.
They have a salad bar at Olive Garden?
I don't know. I've never been to one.
What are they? Is there an ice cream machine?
I guess, yeah. Soft serve ice cream, John.
Can I get some chicken fingers and chicken nuggets?
Yeah. Let me get a Frosty and some nuggets.
God. Oh, wow.
Boy, we went off the rail quick. I went off the rail quick.
Before we wrap this up, please come back. That's all I got to say. You've been listening to the Shared Stadium podcast. Please come back. Don't leave us. Football season's starting. I promise you, we'll talk more football. We'll keep Keith on track. We'll make a show sheet so he won't go off the rails. But please come back. Don't leave us. We need you. Don't leave us. Until next time, you've been listening to the Shared Stadium podcast. I'm not even going to say if you don't like me, bite me, because you probably don't like us anymore, so...
Hey, yeah. If you don't like us, I'll say it. If you don't like us, bite us.
No, don't. If you don't like us, please come back. We get better.
Please come. We're better. Or not.
No, we will. We'll get better.
All right.